What's the deal, y'all? ZD5 Jew back with another video here. What we have going on, I went ahead and actually cleaned the entire bottom right here of the block. This is prepped for the oil pan to kind of go back on here. I did also replace all of the seals, so I kind of want to show you guys what comes in this oil kit, the gasket kit that is. So these are going to be the old O-rings right here. So this first big one is going to be this one. So this one is going to be the water pump, so that's fully replaced. These two are actually very similar. One of them is going to be right here, and then the other one is going to be the other oil jack. So both of these oil jacks right here are both of those, and then the last one right here is going to be the small one. So that's going to be the complete O-ring set. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4 right there. What's next after these O-rings are already replaced, I'm going to go ahead and do the front main seal. I'm going to do it while the oil pump is off of the engine here. So basically I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the bag, put this in here. I'm probably actually going to put a little bit of some type of lubricant on the side here, so that way I'm not putting too much pressure pushing down, but put some lubricant on the side, place it in the center, and then use a socket that just fits enough around it, and just basically press my hand down just gently enough to kind of get that seated in there. So that's going to be that. The rest of the stuff that comes in here, you're going to have a gasket oil strainer. So again, this is the part number if anybody needs that, but this one's kind of self-explanatory. This is going to be, it's not over here, but it's going to be for this guy right here. So as you can see, it has the two right there. So that's going to be for that one. We have the 2 camshaft seals right here. So these are both identical. Part number is the exact same for both of them. So that's going to be that. And then lastly, but not least, we have the rear main seal. So this is the big guy right here. I can't do this obviously just yet, just because the engine is still on the hoist, but it's going to be this seal right here. So all the way around. So I'll be able to do that once I actually take the engine off of the stand and try to mate it up to my transmission once I have that portion figured out. And just like that, we have the front main seal in. It's fully seated all the way around. So we are good to go. What's the deal, y'all? Another video, and we're about to get this engine resealed. I just got in the last part that I need to go ahead and put everything back together and put it back on the engine. So let me show you what I got. So right here from MozWorks in Florida, we ordered the complete bolt assembly kit. So we have the oil pump, there's a water pump in here, timing plate, just a bunch of random things in here. So we're gonna go ahead and get these new bolts out and assemble everything. So now I can put all this stuff completely back together, put my new oil pump on the engine. Wow. Well, he ruined my video. All right, so now that that stopped, what I was saying, I can go ahead and put the new oil pump back on the engine. I can put the water pump on the engine. This is going to be probably the only seal that I'm going to have to wait on. This is the rear main seal, which goes on the back of the engine, if you didn't know. So this one I'll have to wait just because it is on the stand for right now. But everything else essentially can go in, and I can clear off this little board here. So that'll be pretty cool. So I'm gonna set you guys on the tripod, just kind of watch me work a little bit, and then yeah, we'll get this thing good to go. What you guys also didn't see, I actually got my engine mounts back. So from the fabricator, he went ahead and fabbed me up some engine mounts. This is not going to use any type of polyurethane. This is going to be a straight chassis mount. So I've never had that before on any car. My 240 had a polyurethane in between the mount and the chassis, so vibration wasn't too crazy. So I don't know how this is going to be. We'll try it out, and honestly, if I don't like it, we will end up switching that later in the future, because this is not technically a race car. It is, for me at least, being a street car, just a crazy fast ass street car. We'll see how this does, but essentially, these will kind of just sit right here on the side, and then that will just mount directly to the chassis you know, so to the subframe right there. So that'd be pretty dope, but I'm super hyped about these. So once I do get all this stuff back on the engine, we can go ahead and throw this engine in the car, because we do have these. And the last step is going to be ordering my trans adapter. So once we order that, the complete engine assembly can go on the car and stay in the car, and then we can kind of work from, you know, the car instead of having it out here. So that's pretty sick. But if you're excited for this build, man, go ahead and drop me a thumbs up right now. Subscribe to the channel for more content, man. We have so much stuff on the way. I appreciate you guys. We have the new oil pump on here. Everything's already torqued down. You're gonna torque everything to 15 foot-pounds. And then now we're gonna go ahead and put the water pump on. I need to do my cam seals, but turns out I actually took the valve covers off and tried to see if I had the exact wrench size to hold the cam so I could take these gears off, but I don't have the correct one. So I'm gonna hold off on that. I can put the water pump on and it won't interfere with this like little bracket that does need to come off once these gears are off for the cam seals. So we're gonna hold off on the cam seals for now until I can get that correct wrench size, but we are gonna put the water pump on. Like I said, I did buy the MOSWorks engine bolt kit, so it did come with 6 new bolts, but apparently there are 2 centering bolts that are on the old oil pump, or excuse me, water pump, that need to be reused. So on here, it's gonna be this one right here. So the second one from the left right here, so that one, and then this last one is gonna go all the way right there. So kind of right where this little pick is. So it's gonna go right there. So I'll show you again once it's on there, but apparently you do need to reuse these because these center the water pump onto the engine. So I'll show you that here in a bit. Also, before we start, don't forget to replace your O-ring right here. I had already done that, so this is the brand new one, but again, don't forget this is an O-ring right here. So that's super important. So again, as I mentioned, you do have the centering bolt right here. So the second one to the left right here, and then also under the water pump you have one right here near this nipple. So this is a GTE water pump, 2JZ water pump that is, so I will have a nipple right here. But if you guys have a 2JZ GE, aka like the non-turbo one, you guys won't have this nipple apparently. So I just want to make that clear as well. So GTEs will have the nipple, GEs will not have this nipple. Alright, so next up on things to do, you see I've already turned the engine upside down and I have the upper oil pan right here. So I'm getting ready to reseal this entire oil pan. We're going to be mating it to the bottom of the engine, and then once that's done, we'll go ahead and torque it down like the spec, and then we will get the lower oil pan, which is actually, I'll just show you guys what it looks like. So it's just a smaller one that actually looks like an oil pan, and we're going to be putting that on the bottom of this one. So again, if you guys are enjoying this content, please go ahead and leave me a like, comment, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, man. I'm a one-man team. There's no shop here, there's nobody but myself and a couple of my homies that help me out every, you know, occasionally. So it would mean the world if you guys could subscribe. Alright, you guys just saw I went ahead and put the oil pickup, oil baffle, and like tightened down this actual frame with these, like, there's like 4 bolts in between here. So all this stuff is fully secure. Last thing I need to do is just go ahead and reseal the oil pan itself, and I'll actually just go ahead and mate that to the upper oil pan, and then we will be completely done. I can flip this thing over. We won't ever have to turn this thing over again. But can we just say, like, bro, the engine looks so good. Like, I painted the head, the block, I painted the upper oil pan, and then we have the new parts as far as the oil pump and then the water pump. So everything is just coming together. And like, again, the top valve covers, the 2 right there, aren't even painted yet, as well as the other one, the middle one, the iconic 2JZ valve cover. So once everything is painted and it's in the engine, like, or it's in the car, excuse me, bro, this thing is gonna look crazy. So drop a like, man. But as far as this, I think you guys get the idea of how to seal stuff. So this one is pretty, you know, self-explanatory. I scraped it off as much as I could. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and fill in all of this right here, and I'll mate that up, and then I'll go ahead and flip that over. So I will show you guys once I have the engine flipped over. So I have the engine flipped back over and everything is on for right now. Again, the only things left are going to be the cam seals. I have to wait on that for right now, but I have the oil pump on. You guys saw water pump, upper oil pan, lower oil pan, and put everything back together. And just look at this thing, dog. Like, I've never really like built engines before. This engine isn't technically built, you know, no pistons, no rods, nothing like that, but we did like clean everything up, and I reassembled everything by myself, like literally no help. So I'm super proud of myself. One recommendation I would say, if you guys ever try to do anything like this, maybe to a 2J, RB, VQ, any of that sort, when you use RTV, you don't need to use a gang of RTV. You know, you don't need to use a whole bunch. As you can see, you do see a little bit that spilled out, and that's fine, that's what you want, but you don't want it to be like all crazy and stuff like that. You just need to use enough, you know, put it in where it's supposed to go. When you seal it up, it'll have a nice clean seal, and then the outside of the engine will also have like a nice look. It won't look like it's just pasted together by some 5-year-olds. So even with the water pump and oil pump, you know, you see it just a nice even seal all the way around. So that's my recommendation. I definitely took my time more, say, I guess, on this engine in particular compared to like the RB I'm going to compare it to, just because, you know, that was an engine that I had got imported as well. And on that engine, I actually just threw it in my S13 at the time. I didn't even do any of these things that I did now. Luckily, I didn't have any failures as far as like oil pump, water pump and stuff like that, but it was really stupid of me for doing that and trusting that the engine was taken care of, you know, in Japan or even in the States. This one I got, yeah, from an importer, so nobody had it in the US but me. I'm the first person, but I'm happy to say that everything is fully resealed and we are good to go. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna end today's video. There's not, again, much I can do. My parts drawer right here is, you know, pretty much gone. I do have a couple more bolts and stuff that's going to be like for like timing stuff, but that's going to be later once we start putting everything back on. But again, for now, I need to leave everything off so I can get to my cams and cam seals and stuff like that. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment on the video. What was your favorite part? What do you think I could have done better? What do you think you would have done? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, man. We're just growing slowly but surely, and I really appreciate everybody for watching. I'm out.